guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the pay to win account and we're going to be looking at our tier list. So tier lists are very important whether you're new to the game or an old school veteran. There is a very specific way to build heroes in AFK Arena, really based on their survivability, their usefulness, resourcefulness, which we're going to cover in just a minute in the tier list. So let's go ahead and we'll get into it. All right, guys, so here is the tier list. Big shout out to Xapy for throwing this together, guys. And I love how he put this together. So if you look, he really has the categories of A, the S plus, the S series, but it really breaks it down a little bit further. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to break down this tier list on Tier Maker and show you the exact reason. So best long-term heroes. In the top, we have Ulna and we have Zorath. Ulna, as we know, having the plus 30 signature item, having that 9 of 9, very important because she is a haste debuffer, but she also provides immunity to heroes, allowing them to scale, which is why she works super well with Grez and why she works very well with Daemon, with pretty much any hero. We even see her in the Celestial Tower running with Muriel and a couple other heroes in slot number 2. Because she can provide the immunity, it's very cool. We've even seen Ulna and Ainz together for a lot of progression within the tower. Zorath is the next one. His 3 of 9 furniture is really what is super important to him. Signature item, of course, plus 30. The big thing with him is he does have the delay of the battle. Enemies coming on the battle, which is super helpful when it comes to the damage that he can do, and also the formations. It really does alter a lot of the formations within AFK Arena, making him a big priority to buy out of the Challenger store. I know a lot of players say, hey, should we build Athalia? Hey, should we build Zorath? Personally, right now, I'm building Zorath before I build Athalia. I want to see him and the usefulness of the long-term hero. Does incredibly well in PvP as well, which is always good to see. Then we have Lorzan. Lorzan is very unique because of his linking ability, but a lot of players have found viability out of the shielding ability. So with his 9 of 9 furniture, he does provide shields for the entire team. We've seen him super useful with the Thorin cheese. He has a lot of utility in a lot of different formations. Also, if the link is broken, so if a hero, combined with an Iran Leica combo, if the hero dies, the linked hero is stunned for 5 seconds. If you have him engraved, 7 seconds, it is stunned, which is a really long duration for a stun. Followed by Thorin, of course. Thorin cheese has always lived up to his name. There is no one that can really talk bad about the Thorin cheese, other than the fact that it does take a considerable amount of time to get it to work. But essentially, as the level deficiency gets higher and higher, and the enemy team is doing more damage to Thorin, it makes the cheese easier. If you guys are very close in level deficiencies, 120, 130 range, the Thorin cheese becomes very difficult because he's not taking enough damage with that retaliation ability, which results in a very difficult Thorin cheese. Now, looking at the second row, the must-have carries. Definitely Grez. He is one of the biggest priority heroes, in my opinion, to build because of the usefulness in boss fights in the Twisted Realm and now in the campaign, the Graveborn Tower. There are multiple places that he is utilized, and he does superb in all of them. His Shadow Shield ability is really further carried with the 9 of 9 ability because it comes up on the minions, not only making the minions super difficult to kill, but when the Shadow Shield is broken, it does do an incredible amount of damage, which is the reason he is so strong, as long as you can get him to scale, which is the big thing with Ulna Grez. Ulna provides the immunity to Grez. Grez has a very easy time scaling. Once he does scale, he is super difficult to kill. He does a ton of damage, even on boss fights, which is a good combination. The second row, number 2, Ainz, absolutely no doubt in my mind, probably the most powerful hero in AFK Arena. When Ainz nukes, especially multiple times, Ainz wins fights. It's always hands down. I run him through the Dismal Lab. I run him through the Voyage of Wonder. I run him on all of my accounts pretty much. Even the faction accounts all have copies of Ainz. He is that strong and that broken that when he ults, usually the battle is over, especially if he ults 2 or 3 times. It's pretty much done at that point. Even in the tower can do very well. Raku is another one that is a little bit underrated in my opinion. A lot of players do not build him. Plus 30 signature item for him works really well. 3 of 9 furniture is really desirable. 9 of 9 can have situational ability, but the 3 of 9 is really what you need to unlock Raku. He can provide not only phenomenal damage, multiple forms of crowd control. He has roots, he has stuns, just overall does a lot of damage as a hero. Followed by Krenn. Krenn is another hero. The plus 30 signature item, absolutely for the stun ability. The 9 of 9 furniture does very successfully with the enshrouding bomb that he does, or the throws it into the most concentrated area. It works super well, especially when it comes to the Mauler Tower. If you look through the Mauler Tower, even some of the replays, most of them are Krenn just run with a 309 formation. He wins the battles himself. It's kind of crazy the amount of damage that he can put up. If you can get him to ult, which a lot of players have been running the call on him, again, to get him to ult with that ultimate ability comes a massive amount of damage. Which brings us to our next hero, Lucretia. Right here, guys, we know that she is just an absolute monster. She can solo heroes by herself. She can solo teams by herself. And if heroes die, she gets stronger with her signature item, which is awesome. 3 of 9 definitely required. 9 of 9 with her helps out a ton. Which brings us to Mahira. Mahira absolutely must have. Getting her to Mythic is a big priority because when she ults at Mythic with the signature item, the Mesmerize ability does a considerable amount of damage because the heroes kill themselves. She is a hero you don't have to race up to get her to Ascended. As long as she is unlocked, as long as she is at Mythic, even early stages unlocked will do it for you. Once you start getting a level deficiency, getting her to Mythic with that signature item will work very well. Plus 20 signature item at least to get her built. Her furniture doesn't make a difference, so there's no need for her to have furniture, but an absolute must have when it comes to AFK Arena. She is one of the top heroes when it comes to building out the Celestials and the Hypogean heroes. Which brings us to our third row, upper end battle changing. Big thing here you see, number 1 is Kazard. Kazard's plus 30 signature item works in perfect harmony with Mahira's Mesmerize effect, giving it a 60% longer duration, which is just absolutely broken. Again, he is one that you have to have at Mythic to unlock that signature item, get it up to a plus 30. Furniture on him will do well, but not required. Not only the stat boost, but it does enhance some of his abilities with the freezing effect. Next one we look at is Oden. Guys, 309, absolutely plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture. He is a monster when it comes to the campaign, when it comes to the Greyborn Tower. He is a monster. He gets stronger as he scales. He can nerf energy on the enemies. He does a ton of damage. He also increases his haste over time. Super important to build him. A lot of players, even in the live stream today, were asking, is Oden very good? Yes, absolutely build Oden. He should be number 1 in your priority when you're unlocking the wish list. Him and Grez, definitely number 1 and number 2 when it comes to building them out. If you're doing the Thorin cheese, usually the Thorin cheese doesn't come into play until you get a little bit to mid-game, endgame, or where you start seeing multiple formations. So I would definitely build Grez, Oden, Thorin, absolutely wish list priorities, as well as Pharrell, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Next one we see here is I'm thinking Morio, but not Mortis. I was drawing a blank for a minute. So Mortis is a hero that, again, does not have to be built, doesn't need signature item, doesn't need his furniture. Only thing that he needs, guys, is to be unlocked. Getting him to Elite Plus, a lot of players have gotten him to Elite Plus, because once he buffs up the heroes with his empowerment ability, there's really not a need for anything else. That is really all that he is there for. Once he buffs them with the empowerment, if he dies, it is what it is. He doesn't do much damage. He doesn't do the healing, anything of that nature. He is just there for the buff and then to go ahead and take a little bit of damage and die off. Definitely prioritizing him. Utilized in the Twisted Realm, utilized in the Abyssal Expedition, a bunch of different places. Use him very successfully. which brings, of course, Rowan. Guys, for the light bearer, Rowan, absolutely #1 priority for the light bearers because of his potion that he brings. Not only the heal over time with his normal potions, but the energy potion is what he is known for. But in addition, he does have an ultimate ability for energy, which provides stun. He also does have a damage control ability, which mitigates the damage that he takes. So overall, he works perfectly as a pseudo tank, which I like to see, but a very cool hero indeed, which brings us to Pippa, the mystical magician. Overall, very used in the Thorin comp, used in the Portal Party comp. I think a very underrated hero. You do have to get her built up a little bit to make sure that some of her abilities work. She has a chance to fail abilities, but that is lessened when you start building up the signature item, when you start building out the furniture. She definitely takes an investment, but overall does very well in multiple formations. Prince of Persia, the POP. Since I built him, I have him at 309 right now. Super powerful, successful, can chain stun like no other hero in AFK Arena. It's very cool to see how he works in perfect synergy. Love him in the Abyssal Expedition right now. Very easy to take a lot of the higher tier 7s, tier 8s, just because of him and his stun ability, which works in great unison with Joker's ability. But overall, he is very hard to kill. In addition, because if he takes fatal damage, he does the recall. With his furniture, he can actually do it multiple times, which is very cool to see. Zorath, we know absolutely, guys, 3 of 9 furniture. Biggest thing for Zorath to bring the targets all together, paired with Iran, because Iran can actually do the 5 pull. So instead of pulling the 3 heroes in a V-type formation, he'll actually be able to pull all 5 heroes when these two are coupled together, which is its own formation. A lot of players run Lucretia in that formation. We've seen some variations running Raku in that formation, but a very strong game-changing formation, which Brutus is another hero. You want him for the immunity effect, similar to Alna. Really providing the immunity effect within AFK Arena makes an absolute breathtaking difference. Because he has that ability, he's in most formations. You can see him in a lot of, late game, end game formations. Again, straight up because of the immunity. Doesn't do very much damage. The roar can help a tiny bit, but usually doesn't very much. It is just to buy time for your stronger heroes to get off their ultimate abilities, whether it's Ainz, whether it's Mahira, regardless of who it is, he is there to buy them time, which Pharrell is another hero, provides multiple forms of crowd control, multiple forms of stun, and he has a really strong energy disintegration, which is unmatched by anyone in AFK Arena. Him and Oden with the energy disintegration, especially if you're running them together, work surprisingly well. So looking at the middle end battle, changing CC, support energy, and again, big shout out to Artie for putting this together, because I love how he put them in their classifications. So Namora is a hero that the 9 of 9 furniture triggers the Beguile ability. Putting her as a frontline tank, you're instantly going to crowd control multiple heroes, which is very cool with that Beguile ability. Very cool indeed to see her being utilized mid-game, end-game because of that 9 of 9 furniture. It works very well for the crowd control. Same with Queen. Queen will keep heroes together. Queen will increase the crit within those heroes. She can shield heroes. She can heal heroes. But she can provide some stuns, some crowd control, very heavy crowd control and funneling ability that Queen possesses to keep all of the heroes together. Which brings us to Leica. Her awe ability for the haste, for the energy regen is super important when it comes to the Iran pull, but it also works in a lot of other formations. We've seen Leica together with Raku to get Raku to actually ult a little bit faster and also provide a lot more energy. We've seen a couple formations, different formations, because not only the awe ability, she also brings a massive debuff to tanks. So if you're very tank heavy, she can bring some solid debuffs to them as well. Which brings us to Albedo. She has crowd control ability, but ultimately she is there as our mega dimensional buffer. She brings the defense, she brings the attack rating, plus with her 3 of 9 furniture, she has an immunity similar to Brutus, again, similar to Alna with the immunity aspect of there, and she is the protector of Eins, which is our must-have carry. So if you're building them together, she makes Eins much more potent when it comes to the damage that he's putting out, which is always nice. Then we look at Rose. Rose-Mahira combo has been a thing that has come up since Rose. We got the follow feature with Rose. The Rose-Mahira combination has been working flawlessly with the chaining of the ultimate abilities for Mahira, coupled with Kazard will allow you to actually pretty much stun lock or mesmerize the entire enemy team for the complete battle, which is kind of crazy. Next one is Rain. Rain is a hero, again, that I think a lot of players, they're really underestimated, but she has a cool energy regen. She has a shielding function to her, but the big thing is the damage buff with her 3 of 9 furniture. Gives you a 30% extra damage, which can just devastate a target, especially if you have some heavy hitters like Eins, Raku, Krenn, Lucretia. A 30% buff. Thorin, it works as well, will be devastating. Maro. Maro is one of the heroes that is brand new to the Lightbearers and just a crowd control monster. Very cool to see that we've seen a lot of formations coming out with Maro. We've seen him built in several different team comps. We've even seen Rose and Maro run together where Maro can chain his ultimate ability, which is pretty cool as well. But he has, again, multiple forms of crowd control, which is very strong, which is the same with Zafriel. So he has the Thunderstorm ability. He has his teleportation ability. Again, he has stun after stun after stun. So really the crowd control aspect that he brings, he also does bring a considerable amount of damage. Again, he is a hero that is going to require a very high investment, a plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture, to really be successful when it comes to building him out. So looking at the lower end, these are real defensive support. Merlin, absolutely. 9 of 9 furniture, he can ult right off the bat, giving you a 35% reduction in damage, which is very cool right off of the bat. Ezio is the finisher, guys. A lot of players run Raku with Ezio because Raku can get them low. Ezio can finish them off very easy with the Eagle Eye ability, making them in solid synergy. Desire is a hero that I feel like she's very strong in defense. The only thing that players have a problem with is the Oceanic Mist ability can actually be a little bit slow. To get in the battlefield, it'll hit the back line, then it'll hit the front line. If your enemies are on the allied side, it can work a lot faster. If your heroes are on the enemy side, it does take a considerable amount of time to go ahead and get the enemies there. But a lot of players do also utilize her for the very short immunity that she can do with her ultimate ability. And then we have Silas, same thing. He offers a big buff to the attack rating, multiple forms of healing, but his ultimate ability does also provide an immunity. So even looking again, a while ago, let's say a year ago in AFK Arena, there was only Brutus that had the immunity and it was super difficult to deal with. Then we came out with Nara, and Nara was the finisher with Brutus, and now we have a ton of heroes that have shielding, and we have a ton of heroes that have immunity within there. So looking on down the list, good heroes, Tassie, multiple forms of crowd control. She has a banish ability, she has her mesmerize. Arthur, solid support, has a couple heroes in his aura, can improve their crit rating. He also does have a heal, which makes him a viable tank. Plus he has damage mitigation. Same with Hodgkin. He does have a couple buffs, and he does have some crowd control aspect, which is good in a tank. Joker as well, as long as you have a couple of heroes that can provide him some crowd control, he can actually do his all-out attack, which again allows him to do quite a bit of damage. And then Damon down here is another one that as the heroes scale, he scales with the heroes. He doesn't have a cap with the amount of attack rating or defense that he steals with his blood shield. Works out very well. So the rest of this tier list, we're just going to kind of run through pretty quick. One use, a lot of these are just simply what it says, guys. It is just a one-use hero. We have the ultimate ability and the linking of the twins. Kelthar for the teleportation. We have the stunning of everyone with Orthos. Athalia is the one target that you want to take out. Flora, of course, to slow down the haste. Gorvo for stuns and shields. Aziz locking out ultimate abilities. Sophia is really utilized for the spectral disruption, which can work very well in the 5-pole. Kaz, possibly RNG magic dodging. Nara as well for finishing off targets, but again, dealing with one specific hero. Yukio's used if Flora is frontline. Yukio can actually stop Flora from flying, which is pretty broken. Nakaruru, again, super situational, just like most of these heroes. Hendrik, most of his abilities are only one-offs. Ullard, he can provide immunity to a frontline hero, but really RNG dependent on who. Titus, again, Screg, Titus, Invade combination has kind of fallen off a little bit. I'm hoping Granite can bring some of it back, but we're going to have to see exactly if it's going to work. Falk's form of crowd control, not super effective because he doesn't do very much damage. Inoki with the shields, just like Titus there. The shielding effect is not strong enough. You get level deficiencies. A lot of the tanks get run over. Again, very niche use, just like the next section. Very niche use, used only once. Taylene, a lot of times for burst heroes because she's going to die super quick. Mizoth with the crowd control. I love his crowd control ability. We have the defensive buff or the attack buff that she puts out. Saurus, mainly bosses. Satrana used against healing units. Isabella, in some formations, she seems to work really well. Isolde, if you can get him to scale, he works well. When you start seeing level deficiencies, again, gets killed really fast. We have Moriel, which is used in the Twisted Realm. Some formations we've seen her in the Celestial Tower, which have worked. Same with Lorzan, a little bit of the haste buff, but again, very niche within the formations. Zekus, again, haven't really found a place. He sucks in the Abyssal Expedition. A lot of players that built him out in casuals were super disappointed because he is not very effective at all. Same with Taylene. I've tried her out. We just built her today to the plus 30 signature item. It seems very situational within the Mauler Tower. Still trying to find a place for her to work. Theowyn is good when it comes to the Abyssal Expedition. She is also really good when it comes to the Thorin cheese combination or the stall team with Flora works very well. And then Verk, again, very situational with the placement of his traps, can really counter Athalia, Cecilia, heroes like that because he'll drop a trap under where you put him, which works very well. You can see even down here we have the trash section. So looking in here, guys, honestly, most of the heroes are utilized for maybe something. So looking, Peggy, Sirius, nope. Drez is utilized in the Abyssal Expedition, does very well because he has the ability to shield himself. Cecilia does decent, especially stacked with relics. The rest of these, not really. Even looking down here, Warwick is required for a lot of Twisted Realm bosses, but the rest of these heroes, guys, are just that. They fall in the trash category or they're not really utilized. And then I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Walker is in the bottom one all by himself. So Walker has his own category. So we're actually calling this the, I think it was the E- category. So he was so far down the tier list, he gets his own bracket below trash. So unfortunately, that's pretty hilarious to end the video with, that Walker is the very bottom of trash. So guys, I really hope this helps. When you look at the top of this, the long-term, the must-have carries, the battle changes, you'll quickly realize most of the heroes, especially in this top section, right above the one-use heroes, are the primary heroes you want to drop into the wish list. It is the heroes that you do want to use the Stargazer for first, because these are the heroes, when you look at them, make the formations that we use today. There's 7 or 8 formations that are really utilized. We have the Iran 5-pole, which we have Iran in here. We have Leica in here. We have Zorath in here. We have the Ainz comp in here. We have the Al-Nagrez in here. We have the Mahira Kazard Rose combo in here. All of the combinations in here, even have the Portal Party, are the heroes that you're utilizing within the campaign as you start getting into late game and end game. So the quicker and earlier you do build them, the better they're going to perform and the more you're going to have them built when it comes to utilizing them in a little bit of the later game. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Again, big shout out for the tier list. I absolutely love it. It is very cool to see. The tier list, a lot of players were asking about this in the live stream today. So guys, again, go ahead and let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.